Okay viewers, today we are going to learn how to read bearings in O Level and IGCSE Mathematics. Bearing is nothing but a direction of one point to another. For example, if you take a point A and a point B and we want to find out the bearing of point A from B, then we will join A and B, and bearing of A from B. Draw a north, draw a northern arrow at B. Step 1. Step 2. Draw an arc from northern arrow at B clockwise to end at line AB. I'm going to do that now. If I have to draw a northern arrow at B, then that arrow will be this arrow. You already know that north is always upwards from any point. And then if I have to mark the bearing of A from B, then this green arc is going to be the bearing of A from B. And as we already know that we can also draw the directions of north, west, east and south at any point. Now the angle between north and east is 90 degree, east and south is 90 degree. So we are only left with this angle. If we know this angle and add in this 90 degree and this 90 degree, then we will have the bearing of A from B. Let us say that the angle from south to A, that is this angle, is 55 degrees. Then the bearing of A from B, A from B will be equal to 90 plus 90 plus 55, which is equal to. Similarly, if we have another example, and that example is that there is a point A and there is a point B, and we want to have the bearing of A, then we will draw a northern arrow at B. Again, this word in bearing, the word of from in the question of bearing is very important, because whatever point comes after the word from, at that point you have to draw the northern arrow. For example, here this was from B, but B was here and we drew a northern arrow at B. It is not necessary that this point will always be B. I have written them like that. It could be any angle, any point. For example, if you have to find from the bearing of a point from O, then you will draw a northern arrow at O. That example I'll give you after this. Now you have to read this angle then. This angle will be bearing of A from B. If this angle is 45 degrees, then the bearing of A from B in this case will be equal to 045 degrees. And if you look at the answer, it is evident that the bearing is to be written in 3 digits. Bearing is to be written in 3 digits. If this is not AB, PQ, let's say, bearing of P from Q, and P is here and Q is here, we join them from Q, so we draw a northerly arrow at Q, write down N, and then the bearing would be this angle. And if we are given this angle as 30 degrees, the bearing will be 90 plus 90 plus 90. So 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 30 would be 300 degrees, or 360 degrees minus 60 degrees will be equal to 300 degrees, because if this is 30 degrees, then this will be 60 degrees. I hope you have understood how to read. After having given you a little concept of simple bearing problems, I am going to give you an example of a question on bearings from paper of IGCSE extended part. This paper is 0580/21/May-June 2023, question number 18. You can open up the paper from your Google or from Google past papers. The question is that there is a triangle UVW and UVW are three towns. Angle V is 125 degrees and angle V is this angle. You are required to calculate bearing of U from W as indicated by green arc. In order to do that, I am going to draw this diagram separately on this page and do some explanation of the diagram and how to go about solving the question. For example, this is x-axis and this is point U from the question, and this is let's say point V from the question, and the angle 125 degree is this one. And this is W, and we join this U and W as well. The triangle is made. When the triangle is made, this angle is 125 degrees. And since we have to find out the bearing of U from W, so from W, we draw a northerly arrow right on N here, and the angle required is now, or the bearing required is actually going to be this angle. Now if we want this bearing, then we have to calculate angle W, which is this angle W, and then we have also to calculate another angle, which is this angle. This angle. Let's say this angle is theta, and I write down this point to be x. Since U is due west of V, then this is the x-axis. X-axis. So this will be a 90 degree angle, and this will be 180 minus 125, which will work out to be 55 degrees. 180 minus 125, 55, equal to 55 degrees. If this is 55 degrees, then theta will be equal to 180 minus 90 minus 55, which is going to be equal to 35 degrees. So I write down theta equal to 35 degrees. So the bearing of U from W will be 180 degree. Okay, this is 180 degree plus theta plus W, which is equal to 180 degree plus 35 degree plus W. Now we have to work out W. So going on to the figure again, you see two sides have been given in the triangle. In the question, they say that UV is equal to 27.3 kilometer and UW is equal to 62.4 kilometer. And an angle is given. When this kind of situation occurs, you can apply the sine rule. And the sine rule is explained by me on another paper here. Let us say that there is a triangle ABC, then this will be angle A, this will be angle B, and this will be angle C. Opposite to capital A angle will be side small a. Opposite to capital B angle will be side B, and opposite to capital C angle will be side C. So the sine rule says sine of angle A divided by side A is equal to sine of angle B divided by side B is equal to sine C divided by side C. And this way we can calculate the unknown angle in this question. The unknown angle is our angle W. So we apply this rule here. So we get sine of W divided by W is equal to sine of V divided by V. We have W, we have V, we have capital V, and we can find out W by applying it. So I write down sine of W divided by 27.3 is equal to sine of 125 divided by 62.4. Then make sine W the subject of the formula, and 27.3 goes and multiplies with sine of 125 and divided by 62.4. Sine W works out to be 0.3583 dash dash dash. We don't round off here, and W becomes sine inverse 0.3583, and the value of W angle works out to be 21 degrees. Now to get the answer of bearing of U from W, we write down 180 plus theta plus W, or 180 plus 35 plus 21, which is equal to 236 degrees, and our answer is there, and we score 4 marks for this question. If you have understood and liked my lecture, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.